Hi, I'm Nick Kelly, and today we're going to walk from Whitstable along the Crab and Winkle Way. Whitstable is still a busy working harbour, not only for oysters and whelks and everything else, but there's a busy market there, as you can see. And this is the site of the original terminus where the steam trains came in. So as we go down to join the track proper, we come to a big gap where the oldest railway bridge in the world was up until 1969. You can probably just see the remains of the old bridge behind me, and when it came down in 1969 there was an absolute hue and cry. Everybody was so upset. I mean, it was a Whitstable landmark. How on earth they pulled it down, why and how they got away with it is beyond me. It's terrible. Okay, let's join the track now, which is up there. It's not very popular with cyclists, of course. They come down from London for the day and then they cycle from Whitstable to Canterbury or vice versa. But I always imagine as we walk along here on this lovely shaded corridor, it was once the first passenger steam railway going. The excitement of all the passengers from Canterbury. The mayor was on board apparently on the inaugural trip, and a band all cheering and excited about going to the seaside for the day. And just along here is a little place that I enjoy going to. It's All Saints Church, a lovely quiet spot, and this of course is ignored by most people who come down for the day, especially the cyclists who just want to get from one end of the line to the other. If you turn off here, it's a gorgeous little church, All Saints Church, and the graveyard, which sounds a bit morbid, but it's a lovely peaceful spot. In springtime the daffodils are gorgeous here, and I often sit on a bench over there and have a breather on one of my walks. Back on the track then, as we make our way along the Crab and Winkle Way, out of Whitstable farmland, and making our way to Housewood, Blean and Canterbury. So peaceful out here. We're just coming up to the what we call the new road. I mean, it's been here for quite a few years now, but it's the main road that bypasses Whitstable and Herne Bay straight down to Margate and Ramsgate from London, leaving the busy road behind us and the bright sunshine. We're now going into the woods, and this is more or less the track of the old Crab and Winkle line. It's not, doesn't follow it exactly, but it is more or less. So peaceful walking along. It's about 20 to 11. Left Whitstable about 9:30, I suppose, about an hour ago, before everything got going, like walkers want to do. And I can't recommend this enough, you know. It's much narrower here, and it can be tricky if there are cyclists coming. But very pretty and very nice way of spending a day. And we're coming into one of the farms now. We see the caravans here, because this is time for strawberry picking. So we might be able to see some of the strawberries being packed. Well, the strawberries are all in there, and sometimes you see them packing there, but they're not there today. Strawberries have been wonderful this year, but of course no Wimbledon, so it's not quite the same. Cherries there too. Isn't that glorious? Look at that, rows and rows and rows of cherries. Cherries, 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 all the way. This is where I have a rest here normally, and this is the church, named after St Cosmas and Damian. St Cosmas and Damian, the two Syrian twin brothers, they say, doctors, who lived in about 300 AD. Anyway, they died for their sins. Well, not their sins, their good works probably. Anyway, they were made saints, and this is one of the few churches, half a dozen churches in Britain that's named after Saints Cosmas and Damian. And here's the church, sweet little place. Roses round the door even. Isn't that lovely? There's another little seat there, perhaps I'll sit on that one. Glorious. Peace and quiet. Gosh, it's so lovely to go for a long walk at last. 3 months of just walking near home, and now this is the first real chance I've had to have a good old walk in the beautiful Kentish countryside. On the way again, and we're just coming down to a river crossing, and you can see the way forks around to the right, but the railway itself was a bit further over to the left here, but it was such a steep gradient that here they had to have another winding station at the top of the hill so that the train could be hauled. Our next stop is going to be University of Kent, which is just up about 5-10 minute walk away. Rather nice signpost, there we are, look. Sarpen, which we've just come from, Whitstable 5 miles, 3/4 mile to the University of Kent, 2.5 miles to Canterbury. Off we go. So now we're coming into the University of Kent at Canterbury compound or campus, and these are the halls of residence. As you can see, it's a lovely setting. So strange to sit quiet like this. Usually this is bustling with students in term time. Not a soul here. Extraordinary. Nothing. I mean, usually if I'm walking down here, there are cyclists, there are students running to lectures, and you know, all the usual hubbub of a university campus. Nothing. Extraordinary. I can't get over this. I mean, even in the holidays there are courses and seminars and people coming from all around the world to take part in things and whatnot, but it really is very weird. Coming into the centre now of the campus, and there are a few people around, but only a sprinkling. And this is sort of the hub where the shops are and bank and admin and everything. It's like a ghost town. I'll go this way. So that's the university campus. Desolate as it is, but while all of that was going on, I forgot to mention that the original steam railway went through a tunnel, which is because the university is on a hill, and the railway went through a tunnel which is under the university campus, and it was blocked up years ago. I think somebody said it collapsed actually, and some of the floor of one of the colleges fell through. But this is a lovely spot here, because there is your first glimpse of the cathedral, if you can see it. It's really there. So this is a good spot to sit and enjoy the view. If I just stop for a minute here, you can possibly see that's where we're heading. So you can imagine what a lovely ride it must have been on the railway all those years ago from Canterbury to Whitstable. This is quite interesting. This is a little tunnel under the track that was specially constructed so that cattle, farm animals could pass from one field to another, and it still stands today. Isn't that fun? And this is the walk down to the start of the railway line and the station itself. This is St Stephen's, lovely part of Canterbury. See, that's where the line would have come from there through to the station, which is down. Here we are, this is the end of the line, see the old signal box. Now this is the goods shed. It's now a rather nice food market and a rather lovely restaurant too. This was the original goods shed. This is where the old steam railway started, and where all those passengers got on the train 190 years ago. And that's the end of the line. But I'm going to walk on a little bit further because you can't come to Canterbury without going to the cathedral. So that's going to be the end of my journey. I've been to Canterbury for 3 months or more now, and it feels strange just sort of walking around after all this time. Lovely quiet streets, and there, the cathedral. Lots of scaffolding on at the moment, but they're doing so much work, it's wonderful. Now they're rebuilding every single stone, cleaning it and caring for the cathedral. It's costing millions and millions and millions. But it's such a lovely building. Of course, no restaurants or pubs open yet, and we were waiting for an announcement. But some shops are open. Hardly any tourists though. And this is usually packed at this time of year. But sort of can imagine what it must have been like in medieval times. Pilgrims coming from all over. Visit the shrine of Thomas a Becket. Oh. Oh. Not allowed in until 4:30. Oh, what a shame. Oh, that's that then. People behind me couldn't go in at to see it close up because they're not allowed until 4:30. It's only 1 o'clock now. Hope you enjoyed the walk. Join me for another one of my wanderings. Bye bye for now.